Please remember to subscribe as we have a new video every Friday. Who cut the cheese? In a little town high up on the hill sits the world's largest known cheese wheel. Taller than the tallest house and just as big around, people say it must weigh over 1,000 pounds. Many years ago, the town ran out of cheese, so we gathered every drop of milk we could squeeze. And as you can see, we made plenty for everyone. Only the next day, it was melted in place by the sun. The mayor declared moving it was a danger to our providence, and no one has been allowed a bite of cheese since. There it rests on the top of Cheese Hill, and as long as no one cuts it, it stays still. But yesterday, just as the sun went down, we heard a terrible, horrible, cracking sound. We looked up to see the cheese was on a roll. It cut right in front of Miss Ellis while she was on her evening stroll. She leaped up, barely escaping, jumping into the trees, and yelled out, "Who cut the cheese?" Next, it crossed the street and headed into the town square, where it gave Murphy Thomas a bad scare. He outran it for 2 blocks nonstop before taking shelter in Miss Molly's ice cream shop. As the cheese rolled by, he wheezed, "Who cut the cheese?" Now hundreds of mice began following it, when suddenly the cheese did a pivot. And it came back towards them, sending the town into full mayhem. With mice in every home, particular Gertrude was frantic as mice covered her walls from floor to attic. She cried out, quite displeased, "Who cut the cheese?" Now the mayor was just returning home from a town nearby. When he saw the commotion, he let out a long sigh and said, "Oh, geez, who cut the cheese?" The cheese was on a roll for the better part of half an hour, when finally it came to a stop against the water tower. Only it wasn't long before the water tower gave way and completely flooded this little town already in dismay. So the mayor sent out his decrees to not rest until we find out who cut the cheese. He put his best detectives on the case, and soon they were hot on the chase. The mayor then asked everyone to gather in front of City Hall. He announced, "We have searched each home and found in them all cheese grinders and cheese slicers, cheese cutters and cheese dicers, cheese knives and cheese forks, packages of crackers and rolls of peppered pork. So I tell you now, no lie, no fib, you asked who cut the cheese, and I truthfully tell you, we all did." Now all the townspeople rejoiced from that day on, because the cheese shortage was gone. Everyone could have just as much as they pleased, and never again had to ask who cut the cheese. This has been Popcorn Storytime.